Welcome to this segment of the Bridges. We're actually very pleased to have here Dean Gartland with City Mission of Washington. He's the president and CEO of that wonderful organization. Welcome to the Bridges.
Brad, it's good to be here. Thank you.
So, Dean, tell us a little bit about the City Mission. You guys do God's work down there. So, tell us a little bit about what the organization is providing the community of Washington, PA.
Well, the City Mission has been in Washington for about 72 years now, wow. and started off as a small soup kitchen, and has grown over the years, obviously. But the need continues to grow, and so the primary focus of the City Mission is on homelessness. It addresses issues of homelessness for men, women, and children. And so we operate 3 shelters, one for men, one for single women, and one for women with children. Mm-hmm. And so we start off by meeting just the basic needs of food, shelter, and clothing. And so because
what people would be surprised is that you actually have how many people right now?
There's about 100 people a night that stay there at the mission.
Yeah. And how many people are you feeding a day?
We serve about 300 meals a day. We do breakfast, lunch, and dinner for people that stay at the mission, as well as this working poor within the community.
What do you think's been the biggest reason for why you've had an increase in residents?
Well, there's a number of reasons.
I mean, I know there's a ton of different reasons, but would you put your finger on one?
Well, I would say that the major reason we see people walking through our doors is because of drug and alcohol abuse coupled with mental illness, and that's not been addressed effectively. So, and given the state of our economy over the last few years,
hasn't
helped because people have lost jobs, which has added to their issues and their inability to cope with those stressors. And so people end up over at the mission because they've lost their apartment, they've lost their families, they've lost their support, they have nowhere else to turn, and they come to the mission.
But one of the things I think is great about the mission and the time that I've spent with you folks down in Washington is you're not there just to put a Band-Aid on the problem. You're actually trying to get these men and these women through your program to get them sort of rebuild them, start giving them some skill sets and some understanding, getting them the help that they need to become a functioning member and employment and, all those wonderful things that we obviously enjoy on a daily basis, which I think is a huge component of what the City Mission is all about. So tell us about the organization. How, if someone's watching this and they're saying, man, they're doing great work. Wow, I didn't realize they were helping so many people. How can someone watching this that's motivated, that feels that draw to the city, how can they help you?
Well, there's 3 really specific ways that they can help us. One is we always ask people to do this. We ask them to pray for us because we believe in prayer. We believe that there's an essential role that plays in the City Mission because it is God's work and it is God's heart for the homeless and the needy of our community. So that is obviously one way. But another way that they can help us too is we, besides doing the food and shelter that we do every day and the various programs that we operate in order to help people learn how to become self-sufficient, we also operate 6 thrift shops. And so one of the things that we, in those thrift stores, generate revenue that comes back to help support what we do. And so
because you don't take any do you take any taxpayer money at the City Mission?
Very little. We have one HUD program that's federally funded, but that's pretty much it.
I mean, for the most part, this is a self-funded organization. People need to understand and realize that. That's a big difference to a lot of other non-for-profits out there that are, based on government funding.
That's correct. We do not charge for any of our services or bill for anything. So,
it comes through people like the people watching.
Absolutely, it's concerned citizens who believe in the cause and believe in knowing that people who are homeless need a place to stay because you can't get a job, you can't find.
But these people need help. I mean, there's causes. They need to get the help that they need. So you were mentioning. So what are some of the other ways? So you were talking about, the 3 different ways.
So the other way is by donating products to us, such as clothing. You can do food drives. You can have donate furniture. We have 4 trucks,
old TV, all that
TVs.
Stuff that you're taking.
We take all that product that people are no longer in need of. They can get a nice tax write-off for their donation. We have 4 trucks that are out in the communities every day that are picking up at homes. We're one of the few organizations that still do that.
Scrap metal.
Scrap metal.
Absolutely.
Because one of the other things that we do, besides what we sell to our stores, is we have a recycling business.
That's unbelievable. That's awesome.
And we
thrift stores, recycling business.
Yes,
you're almost like a holdings company down.
Well, the thing is that when you're running a nonprofit and you have to depend on how the economy goes up and down.
You need a revenue generator.
You have to be able to do that.
What's the third?
The third way is people can just open up their checkbook
and cut a check,
and write a check.
I know one of the current. From a contribution standpoint, one of the drives that you guys are really trying to highlight right now is trying to get 200 companies within the Washington County area, surrounding Washington, PA, 200 companies to donate $1,000 annually.
Correct. That's correct.
And it would solve pretty much all your problems if you got that done.
Well, it would definitely solve the one. That's what it costs to operate our men's shelter for a year. So if we get 200 companies willing to either give $100 a month or $1,000 a year, just write out that check, that would
alleviate a lot of the stress.
That would fund that shelter for a year.
The organization is called the City Mission of Washington, PA. Our guest was Dean Gartland, President and CEO. Thank you so much for coming down, and I really appreciate you being a part of the Bridges.
Brad, I appreciate you, and thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for watching.